Every morning I get off, work 4 hours in the morning. As soon as I get off from the other one, I run to be working in McDonald to complete one salary. So I be in this campaign just not to being fun. It's to survive. It's to take care of bills, our family, put food on the table. And in the future, like I want to see my daughter, she wants to be an engineer. And I seen her with her cup building a building. And she say, Mommy, I do this building. Okay? I want to see that.
In the past month, I could say I have stopped at least 5 to 10 young ladies from going through an abortion. Before you can do anything, you have to exist. And that's, that's Aristotle right there for you. And if you're not alive, you cannot do anything. So there is a lot of potential that is just being thrown away on all these kids that are being aborted. So that's why I'm pro-life.
You wouldn't believe what comes out of your mouth when you're wearing a gorilla mask. We soon realized that anonymity was a great power. It allowed us to step outside of our individual selves and identities, take the focus off who we were, and really concentrate on the issue of discrimination. How can you tell the history of our culture without all the voices of the culture? It's not a history of art if it's only white men speaking. It's a history of white male power.
I'm a privileged white boy myself. I know that I've been arrested in New York City 47 times, and I got out the next morning every time. I go down to the Tombs. I have a lawyer, but when I'm in the Tombs, I talk to poor people, Hispanic and black people, and lots of folks there have no idea why they're there. They were walking in the park. They got hit by a drug sweep, and they've been down there for 10 days, and they don't have a lawyer.
I helped lead a student walkout that had around 700 students involved across the city. As a Muslim, living in this country, you begin to feel very politicized almost at a very young age. In middle school, I was asked, what do I think about Osama bin Laden getting killed? And I had to very quickly learn how to make myself political.
I, deal with anxiety and depression, and as an anxious person, it's like anxiety is kind of like on message right now. Like, this is what we trained for. Like, we've been ahead of the curve on this in terms of being like scared and like paranoid that everything's gonna fall apart.
I remember in high school asking my church, asking my parents about being queer, and their response was something I couldn't really accept.
It's estimated 20% of LGBTs vote conservative, but these people are not welcome in the gay community anymore. They're outsiders. I do see the left as being the most divisive force and most destructive force to our democracy right now.
I grew up in fear. Because there were ICE raids being conducted in the streets. ICE was the boogeyman. I'm not going to hide anymore. I'm not going to continue hiding in the shadows. I'm going to step forward and stand for myself. Because who better knows how to represent myself than me? So that's where I took a bold step and started sharing my story, what it is to be an undocumented person, what it is to be a displaced indigenous person, what it is to live in the South Bronx and one of the poorest districts in the nation.
I came to this country when I was 3 years old with my mother and my brother, and we as immigrants, my mom as an immigrant single mom, never took no for an answer. Never allowed herself to be broken because she didn't have the luxury to be broken. She had to provide and always provide for her 2 children. It wasn't even about herself, it was for her 2 children. And she had to put one foot in front of the other to make sure that my brother and I were going to have the future for which she came to this country for. The idea of not having a voice is just non-existent for me.
You know what would be revolutionary? To see images of black women like taking naps. Black and brown women have been doing this work since we got here. right? So we have this amazing civil rights movement in this generation, 50 years of civil rights. We have 5 years of a movement for Black lives. Trayvon Martin died 5 years ago. The thing is, when you have been oppressed, you've never been able to go to sleep. So Black women don't need to stay woke. In a way, Black women need to take a nap. White women need to get woke, right? You know, like there was the people asking me, well, there weren't enough Black women at the march. I said, we've been marching for 5 years. I hope Black women were getting a pedicure while all the white women in their pink hats were doing some work. We're marching. I know that if we're gonna move forward, we can't do it alone. We have to work together.